Want to help support the channel? Then why not check out the merch that's available from the links below in the description. Help out the channel and get more phenomenal stuff for yourself. And now with that, let's jump straight into the video. Hey Ranger Nation, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing Mighty Morphin issue 5. Very late to the party, but kind of want to talk about it and review it. So yeah, let's jump in. But if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit subscribe, as well as a cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Check out the merch, and let's jump straight into it. First of all, I'm doing it in the same sort of style as I did last time. I'm going to be talking about it, giving my thoughts each part, so it's slightly different than just talking about each sort of panel. Now, I enjoyed this issue a lot, mainly as it had the backstory of Matt, and I think that was kind of important. I feel like you've got bits of backstory to kind of help you kind of move forward, to kind of be like, hey, I really want to know what's going on. And I like the fact that they jumped backwards a little bit and said, hey, this is all about Matt. Here you go, this is what you're going to be doing. I think also the process of seeing how they made the Green Ranger as well worked really nicely. I feel like sometimes when you get these sorts of comic books, or even if you do it in other forms of media, you don't normally get the oh, this is how they made them, this is how you did it, this is what you did. And I feel like that is something that we miss completely. So seeing how they made the Green Ranger, making it different, compared to what it was originally. I think I like the humor in this a little bit as well, where they turn around and went, hey, have you eaten? You shouldn't have eaten. And he's like, I like this sort of humor in it because it's slightly different. If it wasn't humor, then I'm like, okay, this is different. But I liked it. I thought it was fun. Like, I like this sort of stuff in comic books so it's not just the same thing over and over. I think another part of this is Matt not knowing how to be a hero. He is mainly just very kind of like, what do I do? He's not been given what the others have. They've been told like what to do, but Matt hasn't. And to kind of have his like kind of internal struggle all the way through. He knows what he needs to do. He knows how to be a hero. But he's not a hero in his eyes. He messes up. He doesn't know certain things, and for the others not to kind of tell him, because they know I think they'll find out who he is very soon. But because of this, I feel like they could teach him a little bit later on. But he's on his own, so he has to make it up. So he doesn't have that kind of talk from Zordon or Alpha. He has Grace to kind of do it, and she's a very different character. She's not going to be like holding the hands of the Rangers like Zordon does to some degree. So I kind of like the fact that Matt not knowing and kind of doing his own thing was something different, and that to me was, I think, simply the best. Through the entire issue, I felt like this was very heavy dialogue. I don't know if this was meant to be the pacing, but I found like each part was just too long when it came to dialogue. It was more sitting around talking, not knowing what to do or how to kind of move forward. And I feel like that could have been done better. I think cutting down on the dialogue, kind of like refining it a lot better, to me was something 10 times better, and I would have preferred that more than anything. But yeah, it was too heavy on the dialogue, and it did kind of put me off that I didn't kind of really want to read and just kind of skipped the parts where it became more interesting. I also really liked seeing Billy working with Grace. It felt very natural. It didn't feel kind of like forced where Grace is like, you have to do what I say. I felt like with this one, it was 10 times easier. I saw that, Billy was in his natural environment. He loved working with the technology, because I don't think Zordon has that tech or whatever. So seeing this, I felt like, okay, I think it's cool. But I kind of think that if we do after Zeo type thing, if they do the same thing as what the TV show did with Billy aging and stuff like that, I feel like as soon as Zeo ends and Billy comes back, he'd be working with Grace, and I think they'd come up with a ton of stuff. Or even if they didn't do it, even if Billy was kicked out of the team, he could go to Grace and say, hey, we've got this technology, so I can become a Ranger again, or we can make things better. I think there's quite a few references in this, and I generally kind of like them. From Grace being a Ranger, so she kind of parted her knowledge a little bit, but the references were actually pretty decent in this. Having Matt show his identity at the end was something that I liked. I felt like the Rangers could do this themselves, but they don't, and obviously they want to keep things secret and apart, and that's absolutely fine. So I kind of feel like this gives like the world a bit more reassurance. So there could be a thing much later on if they do it where, do they trust, does the public trust the Rangers, you know, because they're not showing their identity. And I feel like something like this could come up much later on, where they're saying like, well, you know, Matt, you know, the Green Ranger showed his identity. You know, Matt now is this, so his secret's out. So why aren't the other Rangers doing it? And I feel like that could come back over to them much later on. And if they do that kind of storyline, it will kind of remind me of Spider-Man, but I feel like this would be a unique thing where they have to either remove the helmets or something bad will happen along the way. So I kind of like that sort of thing. So going back into the issue, seeing the Dragon Zord come back, I really did think was a nice touch. You know, they've upgraded him, they've made him look a lot better, and it doesn't look like the original dinosaur, it doesn't look like the original Dragon Zord. So having this to me was perfect because I like that they've upgraded it. So maybe they'll upgrade the other Zords much later on. And the way that Matt was bonding with it is, I kind of see a Dragon Zord alive compared to like the others. So seeing this kind of like, oh, hey, like, you know, I'm getting to know the Zord a bit more. That to me was perfect. And I really liked it. When we saw Matt kind of talking that he wants to stay inside Angel Grove, he doesn't want to run away, he wants to protect. I like this from the character because to me it was something where I could support him more. You know, the others obviously they disappeared, they got teleported out, but Matt staying to protect, that to me was something even better, and it made me want to support the Green Ranger. If he was real, I'd be like, do you know what, I support the Green compared to the others a lot more. My final thoughts on it is, it's not a bad issue. It's very, as I said before, dialogue heavy, which does put me off most of this sort of stuff. But I generally didn't really I wanted to skip parts and stuff. Like, I would have liked it to be less dialogue heavy, more action, more kind of showing a bit more of Matt at the same time, even though we got quite a bit. But I feel like the references were fine, the flashbacks were fine. But again, too dialogue heavy, and it does make me want to read more, and obviously I have read pretty much all of them so far. But I feel like this one would make me want to continue reading, which is a really good thing. But I'm going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on this issue that you've read it? It has been a while since it's been out, but what are your thoughts? Let me know down below in the comments. And if you like this sort of content and you want to see more, hit the like button, hit subscribe, as well as a cheeky notification bell to be notified when more videos drop. Check out the merchandise, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in a bit.
チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとう。チャンネル登録、高評価お願い。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができるよ。